Hey guys, it's John from ReelBlue Custom Rods. Today we're going to do a demonstration on how to do the JTOB, or a Jim Trolicus olive branch wrap, or the olive branch wrap. And as you can see, this is what we're going to work on and come out with today. So, you know, think about the olive branch wrap and any wrap that you're doing when it comes to rod building. There really is no standard. You know, there's a way to do something, but you can always put your touch or, you know, your opinion on how you think it should look or could look. And that's how, you know, just being creative and coming up with new designs and techniques on how to do things. So let's get started. All right, guys, so we're going to start this JTOB wrap. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a couple of tag wraps in down on the end. Down here, and what I'm thinking, I want to have just a few tag wraps. All right. All right. And then I think I'm going to use, so I got a little bit of the metallic orange. I'm going to do a little metallic black. And then I'll come back with a little bit of orange, and then I'll get into the actual ferrule wrap, if you will. Excuse me. So a little metallic orange, really kind of looks like a copper color, a little bit of black. Now we're going to go back with a little orange over the top of that, and then we'll get started. You know, those tag wraps, you can see some of the other videos on how to do tag wraps. Here you'll see them on the screen. They'll be down in the comments box. You can find the links for those. So there's several ways to do tag wraps, where you can pull them through, or you can just use the straw method like I'm doing. And for today, I'm just doing the straw method. And if you're wondering what that red dot is on that tape that's down at the end of my ferrule, is the I use that tape. I made that red mark so I understand as I'm spinning the rod that I know where the bottom access part of the rod is, which helps me keep track. So this helps me keep understand that, you know, hey, I'm coming to the bottom of the rod when I'm doing the wraps, and I use it as a reference when I'm counting how many wraps I'm doing between each portion. So I've got my 3 tag wraps. I've got a gold color, right? I've got a gold, a metallic orange, what really looks like a copper. I have a metallic black, and then I have my orange. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my wrap with my black thread for the ferrule wrap. All right, so I'm getting a good wrap going on here. All right, so come back, cut that little trim off. All right, so now I want to come in and I've got to decide what colors I want to use for this JTOB. And so what I think I want to use, I think I'm going to use a little bit of that metallic orange or copper color. So let me get a piece of that cut really quick. All right, get that taped down and running in down. And then I'm going to use a piece of orange. That'll really make it pop. All right. Okay, so I'm down on the bottom center of the rod. I'm going to come over with my 2 new pieces, run those along. Just going to tape those down there for a second, just so I don't get what just happened there. And then we'll tape these down here on this end. Okay. So I've got 10 wraps of this black wrap. I'm just going to go ahead and get this started. All right. So the only problem with having running ends is they get tangled up a little bit as you rotate the rod. When I'm working with, you know, a working end or a free end of the thread, if you will. All right, there we go. All right. So I have essentially 20. I think I'm going to go up a little bit longer. 21, 22, 23. So notice I'm counting how many black wraps that I'm doing. And then, of course, I'm using this red mark for my reference. 23, 24, 25. Actually, let me go to 30. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, right? And so by counting and keeping track, That's going to help me make sure I put the same amount right on the opposite side of the JTOB wrap. Again, the Jim Trolike, it's olive branch wrap. And then this is, you know, again, there's a lot of ways to do this, and you can, you know, just it just takes practice, but not meaning that it's hard to do and it takes practice. It just means, you know, it takes practice to be creative and come up with ways to do it, or, you know, different unique ways or styles to do your JTOB wrap. And that's really with any wrap that you're working on when it comes to rod building, right? It's all about creativity. And that's really what I like about rod building in the first place is, you know, there is, I don't want to say there's no standard. I mean, there's some, you know, there are things you have to do in a certain way when we're talking about putting components together. But when it comes to things like thread wrap and stuff, you know, and, you know, mixing and matching components, there's really is no standard, and you can be as creative as you want to, right? And that's what's so awesome about rod building, and what's so unique about custom rods. So, okay, so I've got that part done. I got my tag wraps. I got 30 black wraps right there. We go ahead and I'm going to make a note. I'm just going to write down on a piece of paper that I got 30 black wraps. That way, if I forget, I can reference my paper. And then now what I want to do is I want to start the olive branch piece. So the first thread that I want to work with is I want to work with the orange thread. So I want to work with the orange thread. I want to make sure the orange thread is on top of the copper thread, or the metallic orange thread, if you will. Tape that back down. Then I want to take my black thread, and I want to go, I'm going to go essentially in a clockwise direction. So I am going to take the orange piece that I have in my hand, and I'm going to wrap it in a clockwise direction around the black thread that I'm using, right, for my wrap. Just while it's here. Funny thing, if you pull down on the thread, that'll stretch out your wraps. If you pull up on your thread, it'll make it a tighter and put essentially more wraps on it. Let me back off a little bit. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now all I'm going to do is rotate the rod. Okay, and then I can back off and essentially come up with 8 wraps on that. And now all I'm going to do is continue to I'm going to hold this orange end. And now I'm going to do some wraps of this black thread over the free end of that orange thread. 2, 3. All right. Now that's going to allow me to work with this other thread here for a second. All right, now come back to this orange thread. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to pack it in a little bit before I start tightening it up. And I'm just going to put my thumb down on it and bring that up. Now I'm going to release this metallic orange thread from my tape that I have and make sure that it's over my orange thread. Secure my orange thread back down. And then just freehand. I think I want to do 2 wraps. So I'm going to go underneath, pull over, And I have to make sure I go over this black thread that I'm using for my wrap. That's 1. I come back. That's 2. Now pull it underneath the black thread. I'll hold it. And now I'm just going to go and secure that down by locking it down with the black thread. 2, 3. And I'll stop right there. I will tighten this down a little bit. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to unwind this gold thread, or this, excuse me, it's metallic orange. I'm going to pull it up, pull it back up to the point. Now all I'm going to do is tighten it up. So I got 3. All right, so and remember, so I have 30 wraps of the black, the olive branch. Then I come with 3 black wraps, 2 metallic orange, 3 black wraps, and now I'm going to free up my regular orange to do the other side of the JTOB. I want to make sure that's on top of the metallic thread when I pull it tight. Lock that down. And last time I went clockwise, so this time I want to go counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm doing 8 wraps because this is a small diameter rod. You know, you're doing a larger rod, a larger diameter rod, you're going to have to do more wraps around the thread. And then I get up here, yep, I can back off. So I go here. Now what I want to do is rotate the rod, start to lock down that orange. 2, and 3, and I'll even go another one, 4. Right, so now I'll release this orange that I'm working it with. Pack this in, and then I'm going to tighten it or dress it up. Now I'm going to just pull, excuse my hand, I'm going to come over and lock this down so I can pull it tight. All right, so I need to go ahead and loosen up some black thread really quick, or this metallic orange. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to grab both colors. Just put a little pressure on them with my finger. Come back, tape them down just to help me hold them in place, right? And I did 4 with the black already. So now I want to continue on. I want to continue on with 26 more of those for a total of 30. But so we go 5, 6, 7, oops. 8, 10. All right, so I'm gonna call it quits at 10. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back. And ideally I would want, so you see how my threads come in here and they've come up down here. I've come off center a little bit, but that's okay. I'm working with black thread with, you know, a non-color fast thread. So just a regular black thread, and it will hide that line for me pretty well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to come back. Trim those off. One, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm going to come up here. I'll just do this in a different color so you can see it. I'm going to take my other thread under here. So when I pull my line through, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. That way I get at least actually, I'm going to do one more, I think. One more. There we go. So I got this green thread here. That's going to help me pull. So I have at least 5 to 6 wraps over this green thread. So when I pull my line back through, now I'm just turning the rod, tightening that up. Tighten up that black thread. All right. What I'll do is I'll come back, cut that working in off of there. I'm going to free up these ends of the 2 orange colors that I was using. Now what I want to do is cut these off. So I'm going to do one of these at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the thread and I'm going to apply some tension to it to pull it back a little bit and then to cut it. And you'll be able to see it a little better with this orange one. So you can see where this orange thread goes into the black. I don't just want to hold it and cut it. I want to pull it back and create a separation between those black threads and then cut the orange one. And then what will happen is that'll fall over. And then I can go in and burnish that right on out of there like that. Okay, and then now I just need to finish up. With some tag wraps. So I'll come back in. Oh man. Sorry about that. I got working with a long piece of thread here, so I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. All right, there we go. So I'm doing 4 or 5 wraps for my tag wrap. Using the straw method, push it through, pull it out. Again, you can see, if you're interested in doing tag wraps, you can see this video here, the thumbnail, and then it'll be down in the description, the links for the 2 videos I made on how to do tag wraps. All right, so now I'm going to come back with some metallic black. Goes there. Same thing, 5 wraps. And just packing that in with the burnishing tool. All right. And I'll come over with my last portion, which is that metallic orange or copper, whatever you like to call it. Cut a piece off, that way it's a little easier to manage. So 5 wraps, loop it through. 5 wraps, loop it through. Burnishing tool, just kind of moving on in there a little bit. And there you have it, right? So this is a JTOB, right? The Jim Trolicus olive branch trap, and that's my take on how to do it. You know, you practice, you can play around, you can do, you know, different wraps, you know, single thread tag wraps on the inside, or you can add more wraps in the middle. And it just takes practice, you know, and it just takes practice and experimentation, and you know, working to see what you like and what you think looks good, what doesn't look good. So yeah. So hey, I hope this helps. You know, if this is your first time at the channel and you like what I'm doing, go ahead and hit the like button, and feel free to hit that subscribe button as well, and turn on notifications. That way you get notified anytime I'm posting a video. And if you're one of my subscribers and you're back checking out the video, hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate the time that you guys spend looking at the videos that I'm posting, as I assume they're helping you out and they're providing information and different techniques and procedures on how to do different things when it comes to building fishing rods. So, all right. Hey, I hope everybody's doing well. And then until next time, take care.